Hey everybody, how you doing? It's Jason, just coming to you today with our video blog. Our video blog of today is titled Project Management, the Missing Component of Movement Science Coaching. So I've had the privilege of working in all three areas of fitness. For those of you who are not familiar, these three areas are strength and conditioning, which is like working with athletes for performance, special population, which is working with those with health conditions that could be treated with movement science interventions, and general fitness, which is what is most prevalent and is used by the general population. That's in commercial gyms and stuff like that. Each of these areas has different characteristics, different environments, and requires a different approach. So if one is approaching the human physical condition for any individual with a systematic approach, each one of these areas has some drawbacks. And we're going to go through a little bit of that today. See, as a strength coach, which would be working in the strength conditioning for athletes, we would coach a whole team at one time. The team showed up every day as a team to train. And the drawback here would be the lack of individual fine-tuning of each athlete's approach to their own body with respect to their body's strength, weaknesses, and imbalance. And that has to do a lot with how much staff you have on hand, how much people you have in athletic training versus strength and conditioning, stuff like that. And then when we come to health centers, the opposite is true. So if we're looking at like physical therapy or exercise physiology, something like that, the opposite is true. And all we focus on is imbalances and the weaknesses of the individual's physiology. But the frequency that person needs to be able to apply the techniques that we employ can be lacking because personal time constraints. That person isn't an athlete, so it's not their job to be there. So they have other things going on, stuff like that. And then you have to go to a separate location than the home. And lots of stuff like that. It has a lot to do with the logistics of each individual's life. So many times a workout is given to the client to use on days when they're not in the facility, but the accountability and feedback from a coach is missing, to performing, that workout. So that's a missing component. In a commercial gym, the focus is commonly on how to give this person the best workout. So it really is focused on this kind of this calorie in versus calorie out type paradigm or principle. And the constraints in this atmosphere could be the busyness of the gym, with regard to available space and equipment, or the expectation of the client, and that has to do with that calories in versus calories out principle. Client comes in and goes, I just want to burn the most calories, and that's why I'm with the coach. And that's what they want to do. All right. And so in all these scenarios, the biggest component that is missing is that of project management towards an individual person. In the case of the strength coach, they have, the coach has already done the project management for the team. But for the individual, you might be missing some things, in terms of injury prevention and stuff like that. I think that's growing quite a bit, but still missing. But the athlete engages in carrying out of the plan and not the thought process involved or performing outside activities of the plan. So they're carrying out all their activities within the facility. Might be the strength training facility that's, at the university or whatever that is. But they're not doing things on their own and learning to do it independently. In the health center, like we pointed out, the missing component is project management in being able to guide oneself, the client independently, in the approaches of the physical therapist or the exercise physiologist outside of that clinic. And then in the case of the gym, one participates in working out with the trainer, but also has little guidance other than the conversation here and there in between sets or whatever that is. You'll find commonly that the conversation in between sets and stuff like that is more social than it is really guiding that client to what to do outside. Also, I found that without some sort of other guide, that person can apply outside of those sessions, they likely forget what was said in between those sets or whatever that is. And so a little bit of that coaching ends up being lost. So that strategy has little chance of actually producing a substantial positive outcome without this component. So what we do, Root Health takes care of this issue through the application of our project management system. And that project management system is our remote training. And our remote training uses videos so that you learn how to take a video, learn it, and apply it independently. And then you meet with a trainer who, instead of acting like a trainer in a gym or a coach, cheering you on in a facility, or or a physical therapist, we kind of combine all three of those, and then that trainer is applying what program we've given you as a project manager, and you are doing it independent, and so that independent aspect is covered there. So anyways, that's just a little food for thought for you today. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Give me a call if you need, or email or text or whatever it is. Thanks for joining me today, and hope you have a great rest of the day, and best of luck. Be healthy, be strong, and be useful.